Happy birthday, Michael. I have been thinking about you and praying for you that you would know how much you mean to other people, that you would know how much you are loved today, especially. And I've been especially grateful that you've had your relationship with your sister all these years. You and she have each other, and that is a gift from God. The last time I saw you, we were at my house in Gulf Breeze, Florida. I was 18, I believe, and about to leave for college in January of 79. So this would have been before that, probably in the fall of 78. And was the last day that you were at our house. It was a really sad day. And you were going to go back to New Orleans and back to live with your mom. And you looked up at me out in the yard near the curved brick wall that was like the gate for our driveway. And you looked up at me and you said, "My Aunt Kim, my own Aunt Kim, you will always be my Aunt Kim." And you reached down into the clover in the grass and pulled up a little yellow flower and you handed it to me. And I kept that little flower in my jewelry box for decades until it just crumbled. But I have never forgotten you. The day that y'all left was the worst day of my life up to that point. And afterwards, we just felt like we were walking around in fog because we didn't have you and Tracy anymore. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about sad times. I'm here to wish you a happy birthday and to let you know that if you want to connect with us, with Debbie or me, or either of us or neither of us, it's okay. I know it was a long time ago. I know those were your younger years, but they were foundational years. And I don't think that any of it needs to remain a secret. I think you should have the choice whether to explore that or not. And anyway, you were a wonderful little boy. You had the best temperament, and you were so kind and so sweet, and for the most part, pretty obedient too. Just a real treasure. My sister, Debbie, has always been fiercely protective of pretty much everybody. When I was younger, and to like maybe even like up to 10 years ago, she would tell me if someone was giving me a hard time, she would say, "You tell me where they are, I'll punch their lights out." I mean, she's always been that way. She's always had lots of animals and taken care of animals, and now she's got 6 kids at home. She didn't have her own child. I mean, y'all were her first children. Really, she felt like she thought she was going to be raising you for your whole life. And that was when she was about 26, 27. And so she didn't really actually remarry until later. And then she had a child by adoption when she was 36. And she adopted that child when the child was a baby. And that baby is now 33 in a couple of days, about 3 days from now, Lacey. And Lacey has 3 kids of her own with her husband. And they live in San Antonio, where my sister lives, about 10 minutes away from my sister. And my sister has kids at her house all the time because Lacey's a nurse, and so Debbie watches her kids as well as her own foster kids. So when I say she's got foster kids, she really has 3 that she's adopted. Actually, 4 that she's adopted. I always forget about Chloe, who used to be Maria. Anyway, she's got those kids, and then she's got 2 that she hasn't adopted. And she's had other foster kids over the years after Lacey left home. I think she was looking for, meaning and purpose. And honestly, with husbands, she just kept picking the wrong ones. So, I don't know. I'm not saying she picked the wrong one when she picked your dad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it didn't work out. So, and it seemed like her picker was broken. And so instead of getting married again, she adopted kids, like crazy. So she got into the foster care system, and she's like won awards for being foster care mother of the year. I mean, she really has done a good job at it. And she's not perfect by any means, but she okay. She told me that she spoiled Lacey, that she gave her too much stuff. She gave her everything, and she did. And she said, I'm not going to do that with these foster kids. Well, guess what? She's done it. I mean, she just gets them things all the time. She's scrappy, and she's a survivor, and somehow she manages to get by on very little income. And she probably worked till she's dead, because I don't think she's saved anything for retirement. But she is a fighter, and she's a survivor. And I'm looking forward to next year. September 30th is her birthday. Next year she turns 70. I can't even believe I have a sister who's 70. Like, the time just, like, in retrospect, it just passes like so quick. But I'm trying to think of what to do for her, because she has always gone above and beyond at doing things for me. And she was the big sister who bought me books when I was a little preschooler, and she would read to me. She read to me, not my parents. And she would take me to the movies. After my mom died, you remember Nana and Papa, you called them Nana and Papa. So my mom died in 99, and she had just turned 65 years old. She had died of an acute promyelocytic leukemia. She'd gone into the hospital for an elective knee procedure, and then they said, you can't have this because you've got, you don't have any white blood cells. And it turned out she had leukemia. They gave her the treatment to, cure the leukemia, and basically it was too much for her body, and her body just shut down. So that was real sad. But after she died, Debbie became like a surrogate grandmother to my kids. And so she kept the kids for us when we went 2 weeks to Italy for our 20th wedding anniversary. I mean, she was just phenomenal. And she always just made sure that they had fun. She let them do things, of course, that we didn't let them do at home. She let them watch Cartoon Network at night. And then that was when, do you remember when Adult Swim was just first getting popular? And she walks in the bedroom when they're watching Adult Swim one night, and they're kids, like Walker was probably, I don't know, like 10 years old, something like that, 9 or 10 years old. And she walks in and she hears cursing coming from the television. She said, "What's on TV?" And Walker says, "Oh, that's cartoons, Aunt Debbie." It's like, she's like, "Oh no." So anyway, she's hilarious, and she's fun and funny. And I will tell you that if you do decide to connect with her, you won't regret it. She won't be somebody who, you're going to regret. She reconnected with her own dad. Her dad was my mom's first husband. That's why we were 9 years apart. I'm a youthful 60. And that number just sounds horrible. But anyway, she reconnected with her dad like 12 years ago. I think it's only been, no, it's been longer than that. It's been like 20 years ago. It was right. Yeah. It's been something like 20 years ago. And okay, so she hadn't seen him like since her 20s. And my mom divorced him when Debbie was like 5 years old, and she never saw him after that until she was in her 20s. Then she saw him once at my grandmother's house. And then she reconnected with him like 20 something years ago. And it's just been like, okay, well, I just got another dysfunctional family to connect with. Hooray, So anyway, she she knows what that's like, and she wouldn't be that. I'm just going to tell you. She's hilarious. She's a wonderful person. And she's outrageous. You know, she will burst in. She's always, since I was a kid, when she was a teenager, she invented this language called Tashmabula. And she just busts out in it sometimes. And it's just gibberish. And like, okay, like when Vietnamese but people were first arriving in the 70s in Pensacola, you know, I mean, they were arriving to settle there. They were refugees. I mean, God love them, you know. But she would pass them in the mall and she'd start talking in gibberish like she was Vietnamese. It's like, oh, don't do that. She's so incorrect, politically incorrect. But anyway, I just want to let you know, we love you. We treasure you. I'm hearing the garage door go up, so my husband's coming home for something. And I just want to leave you with this thought. I was reading like in my Bible yesterday and in Galatians 5, and it was verse 16 and 17. And it says, "But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. For the desires of the flesh are against the Spirit, and the desires of the Spirit are against the flesh. For these are opposed to each other, to keep you from doing the things you want to do." To keep you from doing the things you want to do. And that spoke to me because I have neglected in doing some of the things that I want to do. And it's only been because I'm so stinking task oriented that I just keep doing the desires of the flesh instead of spending time with God in a way that is really sitting at his feet. I've just been like checking the box lately. Like, okay, I'm just reading this. I'm not getting anything out of it. And instead of like looking forward to spending time with the Lord, that's what I've been doing. So anyway, just being honest here. And, you know, I just pray that you just are able to do the things that you want to do because, you are getting the priorities you need to get straight. Isn't that a struggle for all of us? Anyway, love you and would love to connect if you want to. And if you don't, it's okay. There's not a right or a wrong. God bless your heart. Happy birthday, Michael.